Hello and good evening. As it says, only green candies. Don't want other candies, only green candies. Need green candies, please. But of course, what I'm really focused on, what I'm really focused on is the tactics announcement. It's the tactics announcement. That's my gunbreaker glam. Yeah. I could go gunbreaker. You know what? I'm feeling it today. Hello, Leilu. Tactics! My brother, I was sitting down having dinner last night. And my brother messaged me. Yes! Yes! My brother messaged me out of the blue and he's like, so, state of play tomorrow. Hey, Calixo. Welcome. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, the team tweeted about tactics. It's a sign. And I'm like, no. And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, it better happen now. Like, all of my fingers are crossed. It better happen now. I was not disappointed. So I was kind of hoping if they did a 2D just like enhanced version that it could have been a shadow drop and been out like right away. But you know what? I'm willing to wait until September. A couple of months is all right. I wouldn't have wanted to wait a year for a 2D remaster. How are you doing, Calixo? It has been like literally forever. Sorry, I needed to finish my train of thought or else it would have left the station without me. Yay! I appreciate it. I hope you're doing well. I am over on Hallie right now if anyone wants to join for some occult croissant. I am only accepting green candies. I just about messed it up. Only accepting green candies. Yeah, fantastic timing for you. Fantastic. Happy birthday to you. Hey, Break. Good evening. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, it's been a crazy couple of months. Hey, Shu, how you doing? We are talking about Final Fantasy Tactics in Final Fantasy 14. Hey. Thank you. Getting on to farm. Ooh. Yep, we're all partying up. We're meeting on Hallie just in the... We're meeting on Hallie, just in the world, and then we will enter in together as a party. That is... Oh boy, it's been a day. Okie dokie. I'll start flinging out invites. Bum, bum, bum. Oh my god. I haven't played Tactics all the way through since like 2004, 2005. Aw, yeah, I hope to see you around. I hope you have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for dropping in. Hope you have a good one. We're here. I'm here. I wasn't here for a while, but now I'm back. So you can find me here 5 days a week. 6 sometimes. I eat food after stream. I had a yogurt cup and an apple before stream to tide me over, and then I have dinner after stream. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, take care of yourself. Thank you so much for dropping by. So I haven't played Tactics since, like I said, 2004, 2005. And I have a really bad memory. Like, you guys probably know. I've made no great attempt to hide this fact. I have a terrible memory. But I do still remember the Wiggriff fight. And my brother was telling me last night about the time that fight cost him a 30-hour save file. And I completely understand. So, hopefully this remake has addressed some things that will make that fight a little bit more tolerable. Hey, Rockman! Yeah, if you're wanting to join us, head over to Hallie. We'll invite you to party before we head in. State of Play today for PlayStation announced a remake coming September 30th for Final Fantasy Tactics. It's a 2D. It's a 2D enhanced edition. But apparently it has like everything voice acted, like polished up. Like it's a really good remaster. It's not like a 3D remake or anything, but you know what? We'll take it. Considering it's only a couple of months away. Yeah, it's your standard tactics game. Think triangle strategy. Nine is the only one left on the leak list. Leaks. If they release a 9 remake, I will play it. Here's the thing. If they release a 9 remake, I promise to finish it. I've never finished 9. It's the one numbered Final Fantasy game I've never finished. Hey, shoo! I think we're just waiting for Rock. Vivi Mug? No, is that in Discord? I didn't really have too much of a chance to check Discord. Be whatever you want, Shu. That's the glory and tragedy of Occult Crescent. His parties can be whatever they want. Oh, hey, now I see it. Vivi mug. Cute. Yeah, I can't say why I never finished 9. It could have been it came out in kind of that empty void part of my life where I wasn't really playing games like at the beginning of university when I was like working and trying to live and didn't really have money for consoles and all that sort of stuff. So maybe that's why. And by the time I got around to getting to it, it didn't hit the same. Okay. Azaveron, all right to go. Jeffrey, to the horn! What the? Is someone not level 100? I've never seen that message before. Item level. Maybe I'm not high enough item level. One sec. Maybe it's me. Maybe I am the problem. Yeah, I was the problem. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. I was the problem. It lets you be whatever you want once you're in there. Whatever. Okay, what kind of instance did we get? Oh, we got a brand new one. That's brand new. Oh, Catherine, have you got your riding map? I took off and then I was like, oh yeah, Catherine, can you get around? Wait. Shoo! Also, I am in Discord chat if anyone else wanted to join in. Oh, the dead up. Okay. You got scammed. Oh no. From the carrot? I've never had a carrot. I don't even know. I don't even know what's possible to get with a carrot. As we can attest by the fact that I have 0 green candies, my luck's not so great. So that the one explains the other.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. I knew nothing about this, so if that was too high of a level for me, I just went in there.
Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what level you are. These apparently aren't leveled. Things will just kind of always one-hit you.
Makes sense, I guess. Listen, I farmed this thing for like 6 hours. I got 1 yellow crystal.
Oh. Well,
I was doing fates in Lost World or whatever it is. So. Or not Lost World, Living Memory.
oh, okay. Yeah, apparently
Lost
the
World is
fate
name of
drop
that
chance.
zone.
Yeah. I'm like, what are you talking about? Just nod and smile, Debbie. Just nod and smile. Apparently fate drop rates are also just super, super low.
Okay, that makes more sense. Oh, I know that guy. That's Cagnaza. What's he doing here?
He's got a lot of bling on. He's wearing like rings on every finger.
That makes sense. He has the trade tools.
It's how you avoid. It's how you avoid import charges. It's like, no, I own all this jewelry. I came in with it.
Swear it. Yeah, when I came back, I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing in this area, and everyone wanted to play like tank, so I was like, well, guess I'll play Viper. Oh, what the fuck is this? Oh, that's what it is. I was just surprised when I got in here, they were like, yeah, this is your Phantom class, and I was like, am I playing 5?
I love it. I love the menu option sound that's straight out of the game. It's very nostalgic. It hits that trigger.
Yeah, because today is the pre-release too for the Final Fantasy Magic the Gathering set. What do I do with wind? Oh. So people have been putting out their YouTube videos of like, you know, enjoying their Final Fantasy cards. So, the one plus side we have to that, even like, you know, I know you don't play Magic, but there's a bunch of Final Fantasy merch coming out now. Like playmats and stuff like that.
Yeah. I want the cards, but I don't want the cards to play the cards. I want the cards just to have the cards, and I can't justify the cost right now just to have them. So
no, for sure. I care more. Like, I mean, I want the cards too, but I want the playmats that for like my desk and stuff. Now we're getting high quality playmats with Final Fantasy.
I'm gonna have to find a way to. I'm gonna have. I don't want to say this too loud. They'll take away my Canada badge, but I need to plan like a day trip or something to Seattle to buy some of this stuff. Yeah, because shipping to Canada is almost as much as the item itself. Like, I can't justify getting it shipped here.
Listen, I feel you. I just got the Switch 2 that comes out tonight, so I'm gonna be here till 10. and then Tactics got announced when I really shouldn't be spending money, so my credit card's getting kind of full. I'm not happy with, but I was not gonna lose my Tactics Collector's Edition for a game I've been waiting like forever for.
Right. No, I feel it. Now,
I swear the website was up 3 minutes when I bought my purchase.
nice. I saw the PlayStation version of the game for $66 Canadian, which means it's not selling at like max
It's only
value.
40.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's 40 or 50. Which, I mean, honestly, they didn't do anything to the game. So they can't sell us an $80 version of that, you know what I mean? It's like, you really didn't improve on the game, you just resold me the same game. And I mean, I'm glad to buy it, don't get me wrong. But you haven't done anything big enough. It's not a full remake like the 7 remake.
Right.
But I mean, I'm kind of glad too, though, because like, I honestly don't really like the 7 remake. I know that's blasphemous to a lot of these people.
I never finished it. I have the first one, the first 7 remake. I never finished it.
I just feel like it's not as good, to be honest, and it's kind of sad to say. I got to the part where you're going to Nibelheim, and you get to see Sephiroth, but then like, or no, sorry, not that part. It's when you're fighting with Sephiroth, which is like later on in the first one. And I was like, wait, why is he fighting with me? And then you were doing the same damage, and I was like, he doesn't even feel like OP. They should be making him like this insane threat right now to me, and instead he's just hanging out. I don't know, it feels like they want to tell us another story, and I'm like, I get it, and I'm okay with that. But like, you're just realistically, you're just telling me Abbott Children again. And like, I like Abbott Children, but you're selling me the same thing, and now selling it across 3 games.
I don't know. I think the shadow drop of the inexpensive Oblivion kind of shattered expectations. Because the industry was like, what? People are willing to buy this really crappy, super glitched old game that we just slapped a graphics enhancement on top of and play that for hours and hours and hours and hours? Why are we wasting our money? Like,
well, there was I don't know if you heard what had happened, but there was a lot of game developers, I think it was like last year or the year before, they were talking, and they said there's a point that we're about to hit where games can't look any better. Because like, it's just not feasible.
yeah.
1 second, I got a phone call.
The stars. Why is my YouTube stream not streaming? Is Twitch having any problems for those watching on Twitch?
Sorry, my friend just called, and apparently our GameStop has extra Switch units that we're supposed to. He said, "Can I ride with you so I can get a Switch too?" I'm like, yeah, I don't care, man. I invited him. I was like, I know you don't want to go to a pre-release that you're not gonna get something for, and then he was like, yeah, but now they said this, so I was like, oh, then dude, I'll take you. I don't care.
Awesome.
What was I saying? Yeah, graphics. There's a point that they said graphics aren't gonna improve any further, so if we're gonna see like Cloud's pores or like a little bit of arm hair, what's the point if it's gonna be that much development cost?
Right.
especially when like the highest rated games that just came out recently, like Expedition 33 and stuff, were like really cheap.
Yeah, and it's hard to find faults with Expedition 33. Like, you can't see any area of it where you're like, oh yeah, here's where they cut corners. It's just an amazing, well put together game that they did on a budget without the bloat of AAA.
I am once again saying the same thing I've said for many years now, because they said turn-based is out of, out of season. It's never been out of season. You were just making bad games.
Exactly.
Like, realistically, one of the worst games, I mean, I would call it the worst, but it wasn't. Triangle Strategy, to me, was like kind of a cheap feeling game, but I loved it.
Oh, I loved it.
It had a good story. Yeah, I wasn't around for when you ended up playing it, but I played it when it came out, and I was thoroughly impressed by this game.
The thing I liked about Triangle Strategy, like, at first it seems really cheesy because you notice, like, they clearly did the voice acting during COVID, so everyone sounds like they were recording in completely different studios, which they were. And so the voice acting is a little bit cheesy, but once you get into the story...
I'm gonna finish this.
Just such a beautiful game, and all the endings, like once you finish the game, that's the beginning of the game, not the end of the game.
Yeah, one of the ones that caught, which ending did you do first? I haven't done all the endings, so not that it matters.
I did the free my people ending. No spoilers.
Okay. What was the boss you fought vaguely?
I
I played it on release, so I'm trying to remember.
I fought the Pope on the bridge.
Okay, that's not the one I did. I did the one where you fight, I believe, the Desert Kingdom.
Ah.
At the end. I can't remember what path that was. Maybe it was like the Law path? No, it wasn't. It was, hold on, let me look up the names of the things. The 3 convictions. I can avoid spoilers while also talking about what I'm trying to talk about.
Right. No, for sure. It's been a while.
Okay, so there's utility ending, liberty ending, morality ending. I did not side with your friend at the end. He ended up leaving.
Oh, okay.
I think I went with liberty, which is the one where, like, you also can become, like, the what? On top of the fact that, like, you don't really side with anybody, basically, and you learn, like, your true origin, I guess.
Right.
Okay, so that was the one I ended up going with. I also liked that New Game Plus was actually New Game Plus.
Yeah. No, and I mean, yeah. It's where you can actually go into the game and play deliberately and make choices intentionally and know what they mean, and yeah.
Yeah, especially because the game that I had played right before that was Tactics Ogre, which is so much work to complete that game.
I didn't complete Tactics Ogre. I played it, absolutely, because I'm a tactics game lover, but I went back and kind of looked at all the branching paths and tried to pick up a couple of characters I missed the first time, and then I'm like, you know what, I'm done. I'm done.
Did you get the pirate guy?
The second time, yeah.
There's no way you can figure that out without a guide. I don't care what you tell me. I messed it up with a guide. And I was like, this is unreal. Granted, this is, it came out during the time period where it was like, you don't know how to do this niche thing that you've never heard of? Well, guess you gotta figure out by some friend who bought the manual back in '96. Oh.
But,
the drivers are still bad.
Oh. I don't know. I mean, you seem to be a fan of the tactics niche. I don't know if you ever played Ogre Battle, March of the Black Queen. But that was another one my brother and I were talking about last night that we would really just love to see a remake of. The only way you can play it now is on emulation, like nowhere carries it. I did not memorize where I was going at all. Yeah, I think either my YouTube stream is dead or I need to refresh that screen because it is like...
Hello.
Hello.
Sorry, my thing crashed.
Oh no.
I've been doing that recently. I think it's bad drivers, and I gotta just figure out which one's the right one now. Because I'm crashing in 14, and I have a 1080 Ti. So I know it's something outside of normal bounds that's crashing.
Right. No, for sure. That is really annoying.
And since it's PC, I can't see what the problem is, because like I can talk to you, but I can't do anything game related, like my whole PC freezes. But since I can't talk to you, I'm assuming it's graphics drivers somehow.
That would make sense.
But yeah, March of the Black Queen, I think I started that because I had it on my emulator on my phone. I mean, totally legitimate copy.
I mean, that game to me was iconic, and it got me started in this genre. One, because of the tarot beginning. I have a soft spot in my heart for any game that starts with tarot cards. But because of you
through like your different things at the beginning to like kind of chart yourself a little bit.
Because then your alignment impacts kind of what kind of troops join you. Yeah. But then, like, as you progress in the world, your choices determine your reputation, and your reputation impacts a bunch of different stuff as well. And different things like being over-leveled for the zone can cause, like, reputation decreases. And no, just a really advanced game that you wouldn't see today unless someone remakes it.
Yeah, I mean, I really like... There was something about the way that old school games designed, like, your character story in a way, that it seemed like they put a lot more thought into it than they do recently. One of my least favorite changes is... I know you haven't played all the Fire Emblems, but the more recent ones, they've been giving the main character voice acting. And I'm like, I'm okay with that, but I always preferred when the character was... Back in the day, they were just called the Tactician. And you were a faceless person in the story, so when you finished the game, your person would like move on, but the story would be done. And I always preferred that because I don't like it. I don't like the fantasy of like, oh, I become the king and all that stuff.
Right.
I always liked being the guy that got the king. Like, I liked being kingmaker, not king.
Right.
And now they're going kind of back to that, but like for a while there, it was faceless protagonist. And I'm like, I hate this because you can't really connect to the characters when your character is just answering questions with yes, no.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I was gonna say I don't mind a voiceless protagonist, like Dragon Quest 11 does that really well. Well, Dragon Quest in general, but
yeah, but he's still like a person in that world, and he feels like a person.
A very mute person. Yeah, exactly.
But specifically coming from a game like Fire Emblem, where back in the day, your lords were like, realistically, bad characters. Let's be honest. Your lords couldn't even promote, so they were some of your worst characters. But you had to keep them alive, so...
Ugh, I've got an orange candy and a blue candy so far.
So glad that I didn't get a candy because I'm not there.
God. Now, I want to do Fire Emblem. It's not that I wasn't interested in the series. I just never have really gotten started in it. Should I start at the beginning, or is there, like, should I start with the most recent ones?
3 houses.
Okay.
It is the most beginner-friendly version because I am going to recommend this. Everyone's going to tell you differently. I say play with permadeath. I think your characters dying permanently makes you care about keeping them more. And that's especially with the old ones, that there is no way to not have permadeath. It's going to keep you in line with the series. Like, all the new ones allow you to go without it, but the old ones don't, and it's going to be harder to go back versus going forward.
Right. Okay.
And 3 houses is, while it can be hard, there's a ton of customization. Like, character classes aren't locked. So it's really easy for you to just play some strong classes and kind of just power through the game, even if you're just learning. But you also have tactics background, so it's not like you're going to have that hard of a time. It's not like playing through actual Final Fantasy Tactics or something like that, where like you can get soft locked or anything like that.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of hard.
Yeah. Hey, Zoom. Oh, okay. It looks like my YouTube stream is up. It was just being weird. How you doing, Zoom? You just replaced your power supply. I hope the issue that necessitated that wasn't bad.
Yeah, I'm literally taking my PC case open right now.
Oh, no.
What my problem is. It just started recently, like 2 weeks ago at most. Like, I don't understand how I'm crashing while playing Final Fantasy 10 or 14, but I can run the new Call of Duty without a crash. It's got to be a driver issue.
Well, you know, I was having some issues with 14 a while back, where it would just suddenly crash, now that I'm thinking about it. And I didn't do any recent updates, and nothing internally seemed to be the problem. So I kind of rebooted my computer and watched it. And I was like, it must be something inside. So I took my RAM and my video drive out and put them back in. And then suddenly there was like a really, really bad issue, and I'm like, oh crap, what happened? So I reseated everything, I swapped the RAM around, put it all back, and it has worked perfectly ever since. So it must have been something like not quite seated right, like was a little bit grumpy, but... So sometimes I think the computer just needs to know how good it has it. It's like, listen, do you want me to go in there and F things up? Because I can do that. It's like, no, we're fine.
We had a storm that crashed our like power like twice, and I'm hoping it didn't fry anything in there. And I'd be really upset if it's my power supply. I just got a new power supply. Like,
brutal.
I just spent too much money to buy a new power supply.
Yeah, so if
not the time.
Yeah, smelling something burning is a pretty big sign. Yeah, I would say so.
no smells, no nothing. And like I said, I can play Call of Duty, but not like Call of Duty definitely runs this PC harder than 14 does. A PS3 game. So I'm just checking, accurate things first. Drivers, airflow, but still airflow. I should have a bigger problem with Call of Duty.
Well, exactly, right?
What graphics card do you have?
3070.
You have NVIDIA too, so shouldn't be the problem. I haven't updated BIOS in a while. That might also, while weird, could be the problem.
Could be, or at least BIOS can give you a diagnostic scan that might be a little bit more informative.
Yeah. Watch it say, I don't know, broke. That would be my luck. I have had the highs and lowest lows recently. I had a grease burn on my thigh, on my arm, then then I get a switch 2, peak again, then I get tactics, peak again, now peace and mission.
Oh no.
Just going up and down.
Hola.
Hello.
Watching your stream.
How's it going, Circle?
It's going. It's going.
Okay,
It's
so
very
how?
hot here.
It's hot. Ugh.
Yeah.
So how
like
did you
wondering.
get? How did you get a grease burn on your thigh? Sorry. Before we continue on, I need that answer.
My own stupidity.
Oh, I thought you were talking about me, and I was like, "What do you know about? How do you know about Derby?" I was very confused for a second. I was like,
I was cooking food. I had just got out the shower, and I had to go to bed soon, so I didn't get dressed. And it curved up the pan in the most perfect angle to hit smack on my thigh.
Ugh.
And which made Jeweler even more upset because it hit my thigh. I went, ow, wiped it off, and then went right back to cooking.
Oh God.
And Jeweler was like, what's wrong with you? And I said, I don't know. I'm really hungry.
And then it like just continues burning. It probably looks like a really black patch of skin at the moment.
Not true. I tied a wet cloth with the towel or with a
Oh my God.
Jeweler's robe around my leg like a war wound, and then continue doing what I was doing.
Hey, Sergal, you know first aid. How do you feel about that?
It's not what I'd recommend, but I mean, you do you. I can't tell adults what to do sometimes.
It was too late at night to go get burp cream. I had to wait till the morning.
I guess it wasn't that bad of a burn then.
Yeah, it was like a 1st degree. It's got to be like a 1st degree. It didn't even bubble. I got it off immediately. So
I'm like, burns I can't do. Like I've injured myself multiple times and been okay, but if I get even the smallest burn, I am not okay.
Yeah, they're very painful burns.
Yeah.
And I do want to play, you know, Cult Crescent, but it's like I've been so busy with life and work, and now I feel like I'm too far behind to start. I know that's not true, but it feels that way.
Yeah, definitely not true.
Capped?
Sorry?
Wait, what?
Nothing's weekly capped, right?
No.
Yeah.
Oh.
So once you get the gems, I think you literally just spend token or tokens, right?
Yep.
So.
Because I want to play. I've just been so busy, and plus I'm playing other games sometimes. Sometimes I need like hunker down to focus. I unlocked everything. I unlocked the first part. You know, I got into the zone and unlocked the 3 phantom jobs. I haven't actually fought anything yet though.
You know, that's fair. And the thing about this is because at any level you can join for the critical engagements and fates, like it doesn't even matter. There's no way to be behind. And I haven't even got my first step done on my relic yet, and I've been playing this like every single day. So
Okay, so for what? I think one of the big things I wanted to do, like, you know, Fork Tower while people are still doing it. But what from I heard, I think people might be doing it for a while.
Yeah, most parties don't even clear it. So yeah.
I think it might be some time for that.
Yeah, so you're fine. I mean, I'm not even going to think about doing it until I get into a Discord and, you know, study up and
It's one of those dungeons. See, I never did Baldessian Arsenal, ever. But I did all the Bosnia raids. So, I'm interested to see how it is.
Yeah, apparently, yeah, it's harder than anything in Boja.
Oh, well, fun. I found Boja harder.
I didn't even try to move out of that AoE.
So how's the story so far?
The story for... I'll be honest, I kind of skipped through most of it. I don't know. It's cute, it's fluffy. It's very Dawn Trail, except there isn't really any Wuklamot. So it's good, actually. It's fine. No notes.
That's why I thought you need something light, especially after Bosja. Bosja I felt was very heavy for multiple reasons.
Yeah, so this is definitely a palate cleanser, very different. Stream's freezing. I don't know what's going on, guys.
I didn't put a curse on you.
Seems fine on YouTube. I'm watching on YouTube right now. It seems
okay. Well, it's saying YouTube is not getting enough video, so it's gonna glitch soon. The 745 gear helps a lot. Yeah. I've got most of it. I've got the head, the body, and the legs. I mean, I've also got over 7,700 silver pieces, so I could get the rest of it if I thought about it.
I think I found old enough drivers. I might still be able to catch a little bit of the run.
Godspeed, little computer.
When I bought it, it was a big computer. Now it's like 10 years old, and now it's a small computer again. But I can't upgrade this computer because I got a small Nintendo computer that makes me really happy right now.
Yeah.
I had to get a new one because my Switch 1 is a launch Switch and its battery dies at 30% now.
Oh. Yeah, my Switch, I got, oh god, probably a while after launch. I'd say 6 months to a year after. I don't use it as much as I should now that I have an ROG Ally. I just play most of my Steam games and stuff on there, but
it's my JRPG box. That's literally what I treat it as. Anything I want to play that's single player, I can take it anywhere I want to go. I can lay with it in bed, all I want. And the people that are complaining that, like, you know, the TOS breaking your system and everything, my only thought was, what are you modding it to play?
right.
Because the only thing I hear people do things to their consoles for is to play Switch games anyway. So, because otherwise you can just buy them.
I mean, the only problem I have with the Switch 2, and the only reason I'm not getting it on launch, is because the price. That's really the only reason. Considering I have a Switch, considering I have a handheld computer, considering I have a computer and 2 laptops and a tablet, I'm like, I can't justify $600 on another right now. But
like, that's kind of my thing too, but literally when they announced that they were doing pre-orders, my Switch started dying, and I said, well, it's timing then.
It's a sign. Yeah.
If I can't already play the first one, then I might as well get separate, because, you know, backwards compatible.
Yeah.
But, did you ever play Diofield Chronicles? The other Square Enix game?
The Witch
like
Chronicles?
Diofield. It's like,
no.
It was more like an RTS. So I bought that on release for the Switch. It came out like a year or 2 ago. Can't remember. That game makes my Switch turn into an oven.
Ugh.
So part of that was also me going, this game literally, when I'm playing it, an hour or 2 in, drains the battery so bad it like wants to burn. And I was like, man, this launch Switch is really showing its life.
Yeah, at that point, I mean, it's probably best to retire the poor thing before someone gets hurt.
I'll be honest, that game sucked, and I still finished it. I spent all that money on it, and I was like, I'm so upset with you, but I gotta finish this.
Oh,
You
that
okay?
might be Debbie. No,
Yeah.
I was gonna say, have you heard of the what was it? The Tactics remastered thingy, whatever
yeah,
it is.
we spent the first, 40 minutes of stream talking about it.
Oh, I know.
Boys already bought the collector's edition.
Yeah. Okay, I haven't bought the collector's edition, but I am definitely pre-ordering.
Does that come out in September?
Yeah.
September, yeah. I couldn't get the Final Fantasy Pixel remaster because I didn't buy the stuff the first time around, and I had to wait 2 years to get it.
Oh.
So I was not waiting this time around for a more popular version. Plus, I got Chocobo plushies, and who doesn't want Chocobo plushies?
Well, everyone wants Chocobo plushies. I just don't know if I want to spend $400 on Chocobo plushies.
On the plus side, I think it was $280 with shipping. Because I got it straight from Square Enix.
Uh-huh. And converted to Canadian, that's pretty much $400.
Well, that's why I said I was like, it was surprisingly cheaper than I expected, because you never know with those things. I'm pretty sure the Pixel remaster with like the vinyls and everything was like $300 like $350 or something.
Ugh.
I was like, I can't afford that, especially not for the first 6 Final Fantasies. I'm only going to be happy playing like 3 of them. Nobody likes 2.
Now, I did buy the Steam version of the Pixel remasters when they first came out, like the first set and then the second set, like on release. But I didn't get anything fancy.
My dog's got drool on his face and he's getting close. Go! I got my hands full of the computer. Leave, please. Don't wipe this on me. Stop laughing at me and get it off him.
Hi, drool.
God. He's staring at me laughing while he's getting closer as I got my head stuck. Jeweler should be coming back to 14 soon.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, my brother isn't playing 14 right now either, and I can't blame anyone. Like, there is just so many games right now to play. No judgment.
Well, I mean, my main thing with it was, I mean, I was on 7.1 when I stopped, so I mean, in the 6 or 7 months I haven't played with y'all, I only missed 1 patch. It's not like I missed anything.
No, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
The only thing
Like-
I was kind of hoping for is the housing market to drop, which I'm sure it is.
Well, demolition
Unless
is
it
back
can
on.
drop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know they paused it for a long time. They all said hi, by the way, because they heard you laughing at me while I was stuck.
Oops.
Oh, he almost gets drool on me and he gets a treat. Wow, okay.
I went straight from Triangle Strategy into Expedition 33. So,
I still have not played it yet.
it's just amazing. And the only reason I'm not still playing Expedition 33 is, of course, because the Cult Crescent dropped. But if I didn't have like the solid 14 community I have and the streaming of it and everything, I'd probably still be doing something else, honestly.
That's true. Well, the one thing happened that I said was going to happen when we first started raiding, and I was like, I have to play every week. If we skip any weeks, my brain doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Considering we were also getting pretty consistent at everything at that point.
Yeah, I kind of miss that. I do want to make some more progress on Wings. Granted, I mean, we have another 2 years before the next expansion drops, but...
Yeah, I mean, well, we're on 7.2, right? So we're about to be on 7.3, so we got at least a year.
Exactly.
Yeah, I want to be playing, but it's just like so many other, between work and just so many other games coming out. I do want to fish Clear Obscure or Expedition 33. I feel like that game, I have to really like, I was trying to just do a little bit at a time, and like it doesn't work. I need to like really dive in and have like a day with it.
See, that's what I was doing. I was just playing an hour or two after work every night until I had the long weekend and I actually had a day to play, and then I played like 10 hours in a row.
I hope somebody is sitting at Square Enix right now, like that scene in Iron Man where it's like Tony Stark built this in a cave, and telling them about the next Final Fantasy and how it needs to act.
It's funny because I watched a video on YouTube last night that was comparing like how Final Fantasy should change because of Expedition 33. And it's a really interesting topic.
Well, one of the ones that really got me is like 16 was considered a failure, and I was watching Jesse Cox talk about it, and he's like, it sold 3 million copies. That's good. Like, that's good sales. But like, it was because they expected to make so much out of it that like they're like, oh, this is a failure. And it's like, that's not a failure.
Yeah.
It's a good game. It just wasn't a box office blowout. Which, it's not a household name anymore.
Soken played his heart out for 16. I think the music is my favorite part of 16.
Yeah, well, one of the things that really bothered me with like it not being like a household name and stuff is like they're expecting these blowouts and this large sale success, but like you haven't been a household name in like a decade plus. Like, I think 10 was the last one that everyone knew about. And it's their own fault for that because they released a decade's worth of 13.
Yeah, 13. I played 13. I enjoyed it, but I didn't touch any of the successor 13s.
I played 13. I played 13-2. I didn't play 13-3. The problem that bothered me is 13's characters were relatively enjoyable. The gameplay sucked. And that's like 70 of the 90 hours is the gameplay.
Yeah. It definitely took a long time for me to get into it.
The beginning is so slow. It's so slow. And I'm saying that as somebody who loves 10. Like, I love 10 to death, but 10 doesn't really get anywhere until after Luca. So, I get it. But, like, it also doesn't help that, once again, I love 10. It's also very linear. 13 does just feel like hallways. Like,
No, exactly. Yeah. Until you get into that.
Open plains area.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
like 15 hours in.
Yeah. The other thing I was...
15,
Sorry, Circle.
15 hours... It's 15 hours in, and then you die to everything, too, in the area, if you wander around too much.
Yeah.
I think I like 13. I actually like the combat. I like 13-2 a little bit more. Probably because I like the characters Sarah and Noah a lot. I like the combat a bit more. I do feel like, I think what was missing, I finally realized it from 13, is, I know like the story, it made sense, but being like kind of on the run, I really needed like a city to explore, like, you know, a town to visit, or, you know, NPCs to talk to, a side quest or something. I felt like there weren't really any side quests till you opened up into the plains area, which bothered me. I did like the game still. I feel like the hate it got was kind of overblown.
It was... I think the hate it got was mostly because it wasn't what people were looking for. It wasn't the Final Fantasy we wanted.
I think the whole versus 13 thing also didn't like help because people kind of were looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And I feel like, do you guys remember, since we're all old now, do you remember back, you know, you're probably 7, 8, 9, 10, how they all came out like so quickly, one after the other, and a lot of games came out pretty quickly?
Yes and no. I wasn't born until 9 came out.
Well, you count still on the
He's a youngin'.
It's like I wasn't even born yet. No, I kind of backtracked.
Hey, according to some of the kids I take care of, if you're like in your 20s, you're back with the ancient now. So That's my metric now.
Hey, I just turned 27, so I'm getting there.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah. Once you hit 28, you're a fossil according to 6th graders.
Yeah. Well, I think another big thing wrong with 13 also is it's been a while since I played it, and I didn't like that much, so I'm trying to remember. But you start off as Lightning, and you're going through that stuff with Saz, and the minute you get like to a remotely open section where like the story's going, it flips you straight to Snow, and then you're seeing a different perspective, and it's like I didn't even digest the first one. Now I'm automatically with another character, who then splits off again to another character, because then you go to Vanille and Fang right after that.
No.
Yeah.
I like the split perspective. I felt like it was a bit too soon and too often.
It wasn't like a parallel story. It was like actually different perspectives of what you just saw, but you weren't there yet to really grasp it. And then the same thing with the combat. I think the problem with the combat is later on the combat gets very interesting once you really start understanding it, but in the beginning it really is just auto battle.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that, yeah.
Like
I think it didn't help.
the most the part in which I remember the game, in which it actually became enjoyable to me, was after in that plains area where I started being able to like grind things a bit and taking on those like giant metal things for reasons. And
you unlocked one of the most primary aspects that made the combat interesting, the paradigm shifts. You didn't have that until then.
No, you didn't?
It's like a key mechanic.
What did we do before that?
You had it, but you didn't have it to the same degree. Like everyone was still stuck with whatever their base commando or whatever all the things were.
Yeah, because I think that made it like a lot more fun and engaging. When I actually really liked the combat when that happened, when you had different times to switch, or roles to switch for each character, and each one had different strengths in it.
It's like having a job system, but you can't access a job system for 15 hours.
and
And it's like, okay. Because like, I like a lot of the characters. I like Lightning. I like Snow. It's kind of about all I like, but yeah.
No, I really enjoyed the characters. I thought they were well done. Now, going from 13, the next like regular single player Final Fantasy we got was 15, and I have played a total of maybe 5 hours of 15 since it's come out. Like, I could not get into it at all.
Well, Debbie, it wasn't made for you. It was boys' trip. Okay?
Right? It was
boys' time. All right. You had girl game. That was 10 too. Now we get one for the boys.
Yeah.
Really, that's like something that did put me off a little bit from the story, because it was a main line without like any like heroine at all and stuff. And then also I had trouble getting into the combat. I'm like Debbie. I played like a few hours, and I do like the cast actually. Actually, not when they came out. I like I do like the cast a lot. But I also feel like Final Fantasy is pretty good with their characters. It's not really it's like nothing that's ever a weakness. So you just end up having to hope that the story and the narrative and the gameplay and everything is good too.
Yeah, I want everyone to realize too that's like just hearing us rant about new Final Fantasy, like we are boomers, but I only critique this because I do like the series, and like there's just clear faults with it. But one of the ones that bothered me about 15 is 15's combat can be really fun, but the real problem is, I'm sure y'all got to the point where you could warp and stuff like that, right? Like you got a little bit into it. Like with the combat, it starts teaching you how to warp your sword, to the high point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You have so little stamina, you're warping in, doing 3 attacks, and you have to warp out again. And that's not fun combat, that's waiting. It's like, have you ever heard the argument for why Ocarina of Time combat isn't that fun?
No.
So the reason they say that is because Z targeting is a lot of the mechanic. So a lot of it's wait, wait, enemy attacks, you dodge, and then you attack. And in reality, you're not really having that much fun in an action game. You're kind of just playing a turn-based game, but with the illusion of action. And it's kind of a similar idea with 15, where like you warp out, regain your stamina, warp back in, maybe kill one of the enemies, maybe, and then you're warping back out. I could have just done that with one regular attack and a turn-based one.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah, it's kind of the illusion of action, and that's why, like, I really like 16. While it does not have the mechanics I want in a Final Fantasy, with it being action, it did it right. It's fun to play.
Yeah, 16 to me felt like a really good RPG, but it didn't have that Final Fantasy play style or heart. It felt more like 14. It felt more like a live service game than a single player RPG. And I don't know if it was because the combat.
Yeah, I loved it for what it was, but in reality, I didn't feel like I was playing Final Fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like, to me personally, it was Devil May Cry. And like, that's still a fun game, but that's not what I wanted in Final Fantasy. I really only like Final Fantasy because you love the characters and the story. I mean, you can't relate to the characters and to the same level of degree with the others, which I can't give credit for. That is my favorite Sid. He did a crazy good job.
Okay.
Playing Sid.
Yes, and Paloma just said it in game. Clive was probably my favorite part of 16. That Final Fantasy protagonist was exactly what I have been wanting in a Final Fantasy protagonist. Someone you could actually like, someone you want to hang out with. Not a broody, malfunctioning, like, sociopath. Like, just a really good person.
I am gonna get crucified for this take, but it's better Cloud. I think we can all agree it's the same way Cloud acted, but you like Clive because he's actually cool.
He just seems to be nicer. He talks to people and admits to having feelings. I don't know. He just... Also, Ben Starr is amazing.
You mean you don't like I'm Soldier First Class? That's it? That's all you got?
Yeah.
Like that was my take even when 13 came out, like, because my buddy really loves 7. I got him into Final Fantasy. He loves 7, 8, 9, all these, we played back through them. And he's like, yeah, I really like 7. And I'm like, dude, Lightning is just better Cloud. I'm gonna be real with you. Like, the games are fun, but Cloud really sucks. And he's like, no, because what about in... I said, yeah, Advent Children and, like, all the things that gave him character after the game came out?
Yeah.
Like, if you take the whole 7 together, sure, he's a great character. But when it came out, he was just soldier, guy with big sword.
Yeah. And then the protagonists that followed after in that vein, like Squall. Just, again, another malfunctioning male protagonist with a whole bunch of issues.
I only like Squall more because when the game progresses, Squall becomes more emotional.
Okay.
Like, once he starts getting connection with... Oh my god.
Renoa.
Yeah.
Renoa, thank you. I sat there for a minute, I said, oh my god, I know who she is, but my brain just stopped. When he starts getting more of a connection with Renoa and to, like, act like this too and stuff like that, and then you're like... It also had, like, that question of, like, this Empress, like, what is going on, way better than the other ones did. Where it's like, if they're leaving you this open-ended question, it actually made you want to know what's going on, whereas, like, in 13, the Lassie and Falsey situation, you kind of just go, I'm going to turn to stone. Well, what's your job? And it's like, okay, so we could just die at any moment?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And then, like, that's kind of the thing that I kind of give Tin the pass for, too, because, like, Tin's got a slow story in the beginning, but, like, it's kind of an isekai, which I don't like isekai, but, like, you only know as much as Tidus knows. So you're kind of there for the ride as he learns, especially with him monologuing over it, where it's like he's clearly looking back on what happened, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, you know, like I was really dumb when I was doing this because I didn't know," and I think that gives a different perspective.
I feel like the thing I still remember when in 10 when they found out or we found out what happened to at the end of the pilgrimage. That was like one of the biggest like moments for me.
It's a great scene.
I was really young, so I don't know if like an older person would have been able to figure that out already. Other context clues. I couldn't because I was a little person. So
Well, I think one of the things that like makes that scene so impactful too is like when it's happening and the building's literally going down and it slows down to show him realizing, like the summons come out and Baleful is literally like consoling you while it's happening. Like it's clearly like it knows that you're having a rough time and it's like guarding Tidus while he's just breaking down right now.
I don't remember that part.
Yeah, so when you're in home, Baleful will come out and Tidus is like punching his chest and like he like puts his wings around him while he's crying.
Oh yeah, that's very impactful.
It's like a big scene with that because it also explains a lot how like in my opinion the Aeons were people. You know what I mean? Because like that the kid is Bahamut, obviously.
Yeah.
But like they clearly have some form of emotions. They understand what's going on.
That's what I really liked about it and stuff. I think that's what 10's always going to be one of my tops. But for me, I think one of the things I liked also about 8, 9, 10, why they're always going to be like my top ones, is I always liked like the romance with it, because they were all kind of like love stories in their own little way, which I think it just fit during that time for me and everything. And I felt like
they were well done too.
Yeah, I think that helped.
One of the big things I feel like that adds to like that romance factor too is they're all romances in completely different ways. Like Tidus and Yuna have a very childlike, budding romance. Whereas like Renoa is trying to get Squall out of his shell. And in my opinion, Tifa and Cloud have the worst romance, and that's because she literally just lets him lie to himself for like 3 discs. Because she knows everything about him. And she's just like, he's like, yeah, I'm a soldier. She knows he wasn't. Like, she knows all of this. She's just letting him lie because she likes him. And like they're friends and everything. And then same thing with like Zidane and Garnet. It's like he's very much pursuing her, but then like when you lose all your party and you're just running around as Zidane, he's like, am I depressed? Am I sad when people aren't around? And then it goes into the whole, existentialism.
You're not alone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That it is 9.
Hey man, I didn't see the stream. What are you guys doing right now?
Just doing another CE at the moment. I'm gonna have to go soon, which is really sad because I'm enjoying the conversation.
I'll have to do for the launch.
You know how happy.
Go ahead.
Oh, you know how happy it makes me to find other people that like 8. For the longest time, I felt it's that bit like, am I the only one that actually likes this one? Because it was my first.
The same with me. It was my first one. That's so I think it's always gonna be special.
People just overdid the junction system difficult, blah blah blah. It's really not. Just take 3 seconds, or just auto-equip. It works. You don't need it to beat the game.
It was my first, and it's still my most favorite. You know.
Yeah, it's very good. It came out at the golden era.
I practically jumped over the moon when I first saw the trailer for the remastered version. The very first thing I downloaded for my Switch was the remastered version, and I was like, oh, I started up, you see that opening CG and the music, and when you first step out into the garden, and it's like, oh my god, it's all my old friends again, you know?
I think
it's great.
Yeah, they need to think of like 10, 9 to 8, 9, 10 as kind of the golden age of Final Fantasy and look towards moving back towards it.
Yeah, I think a big problem with the going forward of the series is 16 felt like a cohesive world, which is, and no doubt, definitely to Yoshi P's lead, for sure. But even though 16 isn't what I wanted for Final Fantasy, it was a fully fulfilled world, and I really couldn't have a whole lot of problems with it.
Yeah.
And you don't feel the same way about 13 because, to be honest, with 13, to get most of the information, you have to read the data logs, which not a lot of people are going to commit to, which doesn't help. And then with 15 had such a terrible development cycle that, like, I can't really blame them for that either. Like, half of it didn't work, really. And
Yeah, 15 had all those problems at launch.
yeah, they had to redo, like, the last 3 hours of the game or something, like, a year later, I think. Because, like, parts of it, like, literally broke. I think people could lose their whole file in, like, the last hour.
Ugh.
And I think another problem with that is, like, the world was very vast, but not a lot of people like just driving a car for an hour to get across the map.
Right. Yeah. There are reasons I didn't get into it, and there are reasons why, other games like Expedition 33 have really exploded in that niche.
Well, it makes me kind of surprised. Like, I don't want anything bad to happen to any Final Fantasy developers, because it's not necessarily their fault, right? But just sit down for 5 minutes and go, okay, why can't we release a turn-based game? Everyone else has done it, and it's been getting phenomenal reviews. For like a year and a half, 2 years now. We had Baldur's Gate, we had Metaphor, we had Expedition 33, we've had a resurgence in Mario and Luigi as a turn-based game. Paper Mario got remade for Thousand Year Door, which sold to good success. People clearly want this stuff. Why can't we just release it?
Yeah. I would feel bad for a company right now who hasn't had that conversation. Yeah.
And I mean that in, like, a completely, like, unbiased way. I mean, like, you should really be sitting down and going, what aren't we doing right at this moment?
I think I remember it was either Yoshi P or somebody from Square saying, like, they can't do, like, the high-end graphics with turn-based. It doesn't work. Or something like that. Like, it looks too weird.
It doesn't
and that
matter.
was, like, the whole stick that they...
You're right.
That
I remember I know what you're referring to. I remember seeing an article about that. But the thing is, like, people don't need good graphics. We're willing to sacrifice that for a good story and, like, interactive gameplay.
I'm gonna come out here and just go ahead and say it. Nintendo games are like 30 gigabytes, and people love Xenoblade. It's an art style. It doesn't have to be this hyper realistic thing. Just make the game look good.
I think it's like Square always had, like, I feel like they were always like the high end for the graphics. I think now that graphics seem to take longer and longer, and it only goes so far anyway, that it seems like they just focus. They were like too focused on making the game look really nice and be a very high-end tech graphics wise, and
Well-
not yeah.
One of the main things that really messed Square Enix up as a company is when they released that god awful Spirits Within. And they had
Now it's in theaters.
well, they had a massive budget for it. Like it was like hold on, I'll look it up. It was something crazy.
That was so bad.
So
I was just upset that, it didn't have any of the summons I wanted.
Exactly.
All the characters.
It had nothing Final Fantasy really in it.
So in what was it? It was like 2001, 2002 or something like that when it came out. It cost them $137 million to make.
That's a lot, actually.
Jeez.
Toy Story, which was the big budget film at that time, was 90. And like, if you look at it too, because the part that really sold it for me when I heard that was like they had Alec Baldwin in the movie. Like they were getting these big budget actors too. And then they just didn't make a good movie. Like that's all they did. They just didn't make a good movie.
Oh, Leilu hasn't seen Spirits Within? Oh my god. The Final Fantasy movie?
Yeah,
Come
it
on.
came out in it came out in 2001. It was a box office flop, but it was also like released in theaters. It was like a big release. This was supposed to be like their massive undertaking that was supposed to bring them like into everything. And then another problem that they had was everyone's played 12, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
I
yeah.
did.
I like 12 because I like Evilise. But that entire game could be done without Vaughn.
Yeah.
The whole game was designed around Bosch being the main character. But they literally said they don't want a middle-aged character. They need something that the youth could relate to. And then they added Vaughn at the end.
I would have liked to see more of the other guy. Yeah.
Well, if you remember right, when Vaughn gets his ship, and then like they saved Ash before you start going to like the actual end game, he could just leave. He's got nothing to do with this anymore. Like,
Yeah.
He has no relation to any character from this point. And if you really look at it too, like if you would have, the way it would have started, I imagine at that time, is Bosch would have killed the traitor at the very beginning. And then you would have been in prison, and you would have broke out of prison, and then tried to re-save Ash from some point, you know what I mean? I don't know how they would, lay out the story. But you'd be trying to save Ash, and then creating a resistance against the Empire. It just makes sense. But they just didn't want an old character. They said people couldn't relate to a middle-aged character.
Some like books, like it's hard to write like a kid's story, or for like a middle grade or teen or young adult, but like a middle age or older
But
protagonist.
then, you know what? I was read The Hobbit when I was in grade 2 and loved it. There's no young
true.
characters in The Hobbit.
Isn't he like 200 years old or something in The Hobbit?
I mean, Frodo is a man at the time. He's not a young person. And Gandalf is old, and the dwarves are old, and everyone is old.
He gets a pass because he's short. He's a hobbit.
And he's whimsical.
There you go. But
I'm trying to think of what other like young targeted towards young, because there's like this is a totally different discussion though about books.
the thing is, for every person who says, "Oh well, people aren't interested in that sort of content," there's going to be an exception where when that content is done really well, it doesn't matter. People will consume it anyway.
True.
I mean, 2 years later, I'm pretty sure it came out in 2005. It was something like that. The Witcher dropped.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a middle-aged character that everyone really liked.
Yeah.
because you just made a good character. That's all it really is.
Well, exactly. So you can market research whatever you want, but the X factor is always going to be how well the story is written.
Yeah, I mean, I think Clive was a good example of like kind of a disheartened. He wasn't so young, but he was an older guy who was like, I'm gonna be honest with you, my life's kind of gone to shit. And I have no control of it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're dead.
Yeah, I'm kind of dead.
I just looked on stream. I'm like, oh.
I hate this one.
I also think Jill does a really good job at grounding Clive.
Yeah. Well, I like that they really hit hard with the trauma and the mental illness of trauma. Like, I found it to be a very powerful story. Once I finished it, I was streaming it. I took 10 minutes, I couldn't even say anything at all trying to unpack what I had just experienced, but yeah.
I really, really, really hope that this Tactics remake sells so well, they have to look at it. Because Tactics is such a sad story.
Yeah, it is.
And I hope that like everyone looks at it and goes, wow, we don't have to tell a happy ending to make it an impactful.
Oof.
Too bad. Well, what's the last Final Fantasy that's had like a real happy ending? Out of curiosity. I'm trying to think now.
Probably 12, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's just some 17-year-olds that get a pirate ship and they're like, hell yeah.
There you go.
Hell yeah. We got a boat, fellas. Let's go.
Let's see, because 10-2's ending was, if you got a good one, it was really, really happy, but then 10's was very sad.
You also got 10-3, the excerpt that we got from the edition.
No, that wasn't a game. So.
Well, I was just saying that like they gave us a hint at what 10-3 would be like, and I'm like, why are you killing my childhood right now?
They're like, oh, turn it back. And then, well, I guess, I was gonna say 7's was happy, but then there was, you know, something that happened during it that wasn't very happy. Oh, 8, 9. See, that's probably also why I like 8 and 9 a lot too, because they had like.
Oh, 9 had a horrible ending. Well, it had a great ending, but like it was so sad.
Well, okay. See, I didn't realize that when I was younger. I only realized that when I got older. What happened? I had no clue when I was younger. And now when I looked at it like last year or something, I'm like, oh, this is sad.
Right. I think the same thing just happened to Leilu. Apparently Spirits Within looks vaguely familiar. That's your brain protecting you by writing over those memories with something more pleasant.
Hand on your forehead, putting it back in the mind vault. And it's gone. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I do like a game like that. I like a game that I played when I was younger, I've replayed as an adult, and got a completely different something out of it.
Different outlook.
Mm-hmm.
Well, did you hear, or did you ever listen to the excerpt for 10-3 that like would have started the game?
No.
Do you care to know?
Well, I got nothing better to do at the moment, so sure.
So, they basically started off with 2 new kids, right? Which is fine. But then you learn that, like, Tidus and Yuna are split up. And I'm like, why'd you divorce my parents? That feels kind of messed up. Drop this on me. And then it ends with, like, someone saying that Seymour Guado's back. And I'm like, I hate that man. Why is he back?
You know what this sounds like? This sounds like one of the Star Wars prequels. And then the Emperor for some reason.
Yeah, it like they were like, yeah, TSC Seymour, or like, here's about Seymour Guado and like Luca or something, and I'm like, why is he back? Why are you bringing him back? And why are my parents divorced? Why am I getting all of this right now? You're kind of taking a lot on me right now. I'm hearing that I have 2 Christmases, and you're lying to me. And then, like, that's it. That's all they said. It was like a little like paragraph excerpt that like someone read over with the character voices, and I'm like,
no.
don't do this. Well, like, do this, but like, go back and go, why did we do this? And kind of correct it if you're gonna do this.
Yay, I got Phantom Job level up. No, I think the industry is shifting. I think everything that's happened over the past 2 years is too much to ignore.
Hey, what's his face? Splin or whatever his name is. Splin, I think. The guy
Sven?
who did Baldur's Gate 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't forget, who was it? It was some other company that said Baldur's Gate 3 has made an unconcealable damage to the industry because now this will be expected of us. And I said, making a good game?
Yeah, right.
Like, you don't have time to make a good game. Larian had this game in like development for like 7 years, I think, which is less time than most companies. And they were released, and they sold us the game 7 years early, and we all still bought it. So it just sounds like they were very vocal with their community at all times. And instead of us getting it dropped a year before it comes out, and it's unfinished.
Yeah. And I mean, the companies that have succeeded extremely well over the past few years have been the companies that have done exactly what he said they needed to do. So,
Well, you know, he also was a little bit of a maniac if you think about it, because he said he made 2 whole Divinity games to prove he could make Baldur's Gate 3. So really, he was playing the long game. If you're going to sit there and talk about it, he kind of is a psychopath.
My brother played Divinity before Baldur's Gate, and he actually didn't play Baldur's Gate 3 for the longest time, and his reason was he played the Divinity games and didn't have 2 years to waste on Baldur's Gate 3.
That's kind of fair. I actually just finished like everything on Baldur's Gate 3. Like, I've done the honor mode, everything. You know, I'm pretty much done with it. I then started Baldur's Gate 1, and I'm like, man, 2nd edition is a kick in the mouth. Everything just kills me. Like, I just died to outright everything. Like, my buddy who's played it, literally, like, my buddy who got me into D&D has played since he was 2, because his family plays D&D, and he sat in their lap playing D&D.
Right,
So,
yeah.
he's getting in this, he goes, I've never seen anyone die this much while we were playing multiplayer in the beginning. And I said, am I playing wrong? And he said, no. It's just really bad luck. And I said, this is insane. I rolled stats that were like immaculate. I had like a 94 overall stat roll, which is like extremely high apparently. And he's like, yeah, normally I have a smooth time with this. You've died to like 17 kobolds. And I said, I've never felt so pathetic as a fighter in my life.
Wow. No, I played the OG Baldur's Gates before 3 came out, so I get it.
It doesn't OG. OG.
OG. Go for the eyes, boo.
Yeah, that also threw me off when Saravok comes out of the building, and I'm like, is that Gantu? From Lilo and Stitch? My brain stuttered for a second.
Okay, this is the last one, guys. I need to go have dinner. It's gonna
They always say.
It's gonna be bedtime soon.
I didn't know if I could just rejoin a cult, so I've been standing outside the door like a cat.
Oh, sorry.
Nah, it's fine. I got the next 4 days off, and I'm gonna have to switch 2 tonight. The last thing I should be doing is feeling bad. But yeah, I don't know. I think this whole last couple years should be a real eye opener, especially with, I don't know if y'all heard the rumors for GTA. I'm not a GTA fan, but it's supposed to come out in May of next year. And then 2 weeks after they announced that, they said that might not even be the final date, and it's going to be over $100.
Yeah.
Or 100.
Yeah, not even finalized pricing yet. It's just over 100 guaranteed.
But
That's
I
a
mean,
big jump, like 70.
yeah. Now, I'm not a GTA player either, but it is my understanding that 5 is still one of the top streamed games on Twitch. Like, it's still that popular, right? So they're expecting this to be its spiritual successor.
If you think about it from the aspect of they don't actually care about GTA, and there's a lot of roleplay servers where people live like full GTA lives, that's kind of where it comes from.
Yeah.
Like, people literally just work at convenience stores and stuff. Like,
I was
like
gonna say, like, same with Final Fantasy players. You got people who play the content, and then you've got this whole subsection of people who just deal with the glams and the G poses and that side of it.
Yes, me walking to my next dungeon and looking at somebody standing in G pose, and I go, I know what you're doing, you sick freak. And walking past them.
Oh man.
Nobody just G poses in Limsa like this. You all are monsters.
So yeah, I get what you're saying. There are people who play the game, and then there are people who play the game.
Yeah. And what could I say? I heard one of my friends when they first got on 14. They were like, "Yeah, I'm trying to earn gil, so I'm working at this club." And I said, "Excuse me?"
Is there
yeah,
someone?
One of us is a bouncer and one of us is a dancer. And I said,
Oh, God.
Excuse me again?
Is there someone in? Is one of the people who joined Discord DMing people? I will deal with it as soon as I am out of stream, because that is not okay.
I have not got one, but that doesn't mean much.
I don't think I've got one. Let's see. Nope.
Okay. I know every now and again, like, someone will join the Discord and it's clearly like a, oh my god.
I see it, yeah.
Clearly like a bot or something, and then I have to go and just kick them out, but...
Oh, yeah. I see it now.
What is going on?
Oh, I reported them.
You know, this guy's actually selling a MacBook Pro. You know, I should maybe chat with him.
Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna kick him.
We live in a world where my government knows what Discord is, but they don't understand it, and that hurts me. The only reason that my government knows about Discord is because of leaked government files.
I lost my cursor. Ugh. Floor tastes like floor.
And you're not even a dragoon.
No, 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 no. No, no, I said no.
I'm actively watching you wiggle around right now in a full panic, trying to get out of danger. And then walking back into danger every time you get out of it.
I don't deal with stressful situations well.
I think the craziest part of that was you were going in and out of them, but no one else around you was. It was just you spinning while everyone else stood still.
Okay, so I go this side because I chose poorly last time.
But yeah, hopefully, I hope these next couple of years are a real gaming resurgence where a lot of people with heart kind of go out there and make what they want.
I mean, especially with I was gonna say the economy, and as such as it is, like a lot of gamers don't have high incomes, and so when they start to have to, out of necessity, become tighter with their money, it's gonna be picking and choosing which games to buy, and so the industry is going to really see that.
I hope it doesn't go in the worst order, which is Game Pass becomes the new popular medium, and then we're just stuck with cloud gaming.
I feel like the prices of everything lately kind of just turned me into more like, checking out things from Libby and buying a book or something from one author or something, rather than waiting years and years. It's funny because I remember when I was growing up, one thing I liked about games was like, it came out a bit faster because, a year or two you'd have one, whereas you could wait for a book for ages and ages. Now it feels like it's flipped.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of what I have, like, a thing with, which is, it's kind of soured me, because, like, I've always been, like, a Nintendo fan, but, like, not to the extent that, like, I was a fanboy.
Wow.
But when I bought a Nintendo game, I've always known what I'm getting. And it feels like if I don't buy from Nintendo, I don't know what I'm getting. The game could just not run right. But every Nintendo game basically works at launch. Until this recent time with Pokemon, I haven't bought anything that like just feels unfinished. And I think that's like been a big thing that's kept me on like Nintendo products, because it's like I spent $70 or $60 at the time. I got Breath of the Wild, like 100-hour game where I could just explore and have fun. And then you go to like Starfield, for example, that came out, and it's like this game is barely functional.
Yeah, so we shall see. But I need to go have dinner, and I wanted to thank everyone who joined me in chat and in game. Thank you guys so much. Tonight just flew by. I really appreciate that.
Yeah. You're doing maps tomorrow still, right?
Friday I do maps. Tomorrow I'll be back doing
Wednesday.
this.
That's right, it's Wednesday.
That's Wednesday.
Okay.
There's a weekend.
I'll be at least around for that.
Awesome. Yeah, the more the merrier for maps.
Alright, I'll dip out too. I gotta get dressed to leave.
Alright, well thank you all. I'm gonna send us over to Pyra. I'm just gonna throw down some stars, bomb us all out. Yeah, thank you so much to everyone who joined me in game. Thank you. And to those who joined me in chat who weren't in game, thank you. Where did... I'll be back tomorrow night. Same time, same channel with more Occult Crescent. Or maybe a Fate grind. Depending on how I feel. Still didn't get any green tonight at all. So you know what? I might just go Fate grind. Find out what zone these green drop in and see if I can get lucky. Either way, I'll be in game.
Night, Debbie and friends.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go get ready for bed.
Yeah, have a good night, Circle. Thank you for dropping in.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, bye
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Goodbye.